Do you know what your baby actually does while you sleep? You might assume they're just resting, breathing quietly, growing. But do you once your eyes close and the house goes still, something else begins, something you were never meant to see. And some of what happens in that crib during those silent hours reveals more about your baby's developing mind than anything you observe during the day. Miss the meaning behind it, and you might be misreading your baby entirely. Let's start with the strangest one. 1. Their face tells a whole story you're not awake to see. Have you ever checked on your baby in the middle of the night and caught something unexpected? A smile crossing their face, a look of concentration, eyebrows pulling together like they're working something out, lips moving, fingers curling around nothing. Most parents assume it's just reflexes, random muscle twitches, meaningless noise from an idle system. But here's what's really happening. Your baby is in REM sleep, and during REM, the brain is not resting. It is replaying the entire emotional landscape of the day. Every face they saw, every sound that startled them, every moment you picked them up, put them down, smiled at them, looked away. The brain is running it all again. That smile you're seeing, it may be a direct replay of something that felt good, your face at breakfast, the moment the mobile spun above them, the sensation of being held close. Researchers studying infant sleep found that emotional experiences are disproportionately preserved and rehearsed during this phase. The brain isn't filing everything equally. It's selecting, prioritizing the moments that carried feeling. Your baby isn't twitching. Your baby is remembering. And here's what most parents miss. This is only one side of what's happening in that crib. Later, I'll tell you what the brain is doing with those replays once the smiling stops. And it's something so consequential that neuroscientists only fully understood it recently. 2, they spend half the night in a state adults almost never reach. Why do babies sleep so much? And why even when they finally sleep, do they seem so restless? One moment completely still. The next eyes flickering, limbs moving, face alive with expression. It feels chaotic, maybe even a little concerning. But there's a reason this happens, and it's not what you think. A newborn spends roughly 50% of all sleep time, in REM adults spend about 20. Premature babies reach nearly 80%. The younger the brain, the more it demands this specific state. For decades, researchers couldn't explain why. Why would the most undeveloped brain need the most of this particular kind of sleep? The answer, when it came, was extraordinary. REM sleep in infancy is the primary period during which the brain takes experience and converts it into permanent structure. Not stores it, not files it away, physically rebuilds neural architecture around it. A team at Harvard Medical School found that during REM, the hippocampus replays the neural firing patterns of recent waking experience. It runs the day again, not to remember it the way we think of memory, but to extract the underlying pattern and encode that pattern into long-term brain structure. Your baby isn't restless. Your baby's building. Every flicker behind those closed eyelids is a construction event, and the building material is everything that happened today. 3, they process your emotional state while you're unconscious. Ever notice your baby waking up in a different mood than they went down in? Went to sleep distressed, woke up open, calm, ready. Most parents chalk it up to the mystery of babies. Who knows why they do anything? But here's what's actually happening. Researchers at UC Berkeley, studying sleep and emotional memory, found that REM sleep does something remarkable with emotionally charged experiences. It replays them, but simultaneously strips the raw emotional charge while preserving the informational content. The experience is retained. The pain of it is metabolized. Matthew Walker, who led much of this research, described it as the brain providing overnight therapy. And in infants, this overnight therapy runs at maximum intensity. Every difficult moment of the waking day, every frightening sound, every moment of separation, every experience that overwhelmed them is taken into sleep and returned in the morning at a reduced emotional intensity. But here's the part nobody talks about. This process is sensitive to what happened right before sleep. a study from the University of Colorado found that the emotional tone of the hour before sleep has a disproportionate influence on what the consolidating brain works with first. The last thing your baby feels before falling asleep is the first thing their brain begins to encode. If they go down calm and regulated, the night's processing starts from a place of safety. If they go down distressed, the brain starts its work in a stressed state. The bedtime routine you fight to protect isn't habit for habit's sake. It is setting the conditions for the brain's most important shift of the day. 4. They make decisions about the world while you're not watching. Have you ever wondered why some babies seem to wake up fundamentally more anxious than others? More reactive, more difficult to settle. Same parent, same home, different child. The answer lives in part in what happens during sleep, because the brain isn't just processing individual memories in those nighttime hours. It is doing something larger, something with longer consequences. It is drawing conclusions. Researchers studying infant memory consolidation found that the sleeping brain doesn't treat experiences as isolated events. It looks for patterns across experiences. It asks, what does this collection of days, this accumulation of moments, tell me about the nature of the world I have arrived in? Is this a world where distress leads to comfort? Is this a world where signals get answered? Is this a world that can be trusted? And the answers it assembles, built from the emotional residue of waking experience, processed and encoded across hundreds of nights, become the default settings of the nervous system. Not memories, not lessons, default settings, the baseline assumptions that will run silently beneath everything your child experiences for years, possibly decades. Your baby is not just sleeping. Your baby is deciding what kind of world this is. In the dark, while you sleep in the next room believing nothing is happening, everything is happening. 5. They learn new things faster asleep than awake. Here's something that'll change how you think about nap time forever. In Arlie 2, at the Max Planck Institute, showed babies a series of new words paired with objects, words they had never heard before. Then they split the babies into 2 groups. One group had a nap. One group stayed awake for the same amount of time. When tested afterward, the difference was stark. The babies who stayed awake showed modest, fragile retention. The babies who slept showed dramatically stronger recall. More accurate, more durable. The words had moved somewhere deeper. But the detail that surprised even the researchers was this. The babies who napped within 4 hours of the learning session showed the strongest consolidation of all. There was a window, a specific biological window immediately following new experience, during which sleep was most powerfully transformative. Miss the window and the consolidation weakened measurably. The nap you fight to protect, the schedule that exhausts you to maintain. The blackout curtains and the white noise machine and the precise timing isn't a parenting preference. It is a closing biological window. And on the other side of that window is the difference between an experience that becomes part of your child's brain and one that simply fades. 6. They do something in the dark that you will probably never catch. Remember how we talked about the brain replaying the day during REM sleep? That's only half the story. Because after the replay, after the emotional processing, after the pattern extraction, after the conclusions are drawn, something else happens. Something quiet. Something that happens in the stillness between one sleep cycle and the next. Researchers using sensitive monitoring equipment have documented that babies in the light sleep phase between REM cycles will sometimes briefly rouse, not fully awake, not fully asleep. And in that liminal state, do something entirely unexpected. They orient toward the caregiver, not crying, not signaling distress, just turning, reaching, sometimes making a small sound, almost like a confirmation, then settling back into sleep. Behaviorists who've studied this believe the baby is running a check, a brief, semi-conscious confirmation that the safe phase is still in range, that the anchor is still there. They're not asking for anything. They're not hungry or frightened. They simply need to know, somewhere beneath full consciousness, that you are still present. And once confirmed, once whatever ancient part of the brain that needed to know has received its answer, they return to the deep work of sleep. They return to building themselves. They were never really gone. They just needed to know you weren't either. And here's the thing, most parents will never see this. It happens in darkness, in silence, in the few seconds between sleep cycles, when the house is completely still and you are unconscious in the next room. But it happens, night after night. Your baby, in the middle of all that extraordinary neurological work, pausing to find you. Not because they need you to do anything, just because you are the fix point. The thing the brain orients around before it can go back to becoming. That is not a phase. That is not neediness. That is not something to train away. That is the oldest love there is. And it happens every night, while you sleep. This channel explores the hidden psychology behind every day. Human behavior, especially how babies think. Learn and understand the world before they can speak. Here we explain them using real psychology research in simple visual stories. Subscribe if you're curious about how the human mind quietly works in the background.